I'm here to talk all about the will center and what that represents in human design. So if you're new to human design, go ahead to my website, sabledanielle.com, to download a free human design cheat sheet to get you started. You can also check out the Human Design Explained playlist on my YouTube channel. So let's dive in. The will center is the little tiny triangle right here, and it looks like this. This center is responsible for your willpower, hence the name will center. This is also in charge of your ego, your self-esteem, your heart's desires, materialistic things that come with monetary value, and also power. This energy coming from the center gives you the drive to make things happen. And when you make things happen, you can do it really quickly and a lot easier than maybe the rest of the population. So if you have this center defined, which means you have it colored in, you're very rare. There's a small percentage of the population who have a defined will center. There are two other types of will centers. It could be undefined or open. And before I keep promises, I was jumping ahead. You easily keep promises because you have that energy consistently reliable there. You say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. You easily follow through with things. Compared to an undefined will center, which we're about to get into, who isn't always necessarily good at keeping promises. But before we dive into an undefined or open will center, who does this defined will center energy remind you of? Because there's someone front and center that we all know, or we all should know, who has a defined will center, and that video will be coming up soon. But Kanye West. Kanye West has a defined will center. And if you think about Kanye West and the things that he has done in his life, his legacy that he's created, like in the music industry, or just like for us, how we recognize him, how we know him, he's done a lot of things, and it kind of seems really easy for him to be able to accomplish those things. And he also seems very passionate about the things that he has created and that he puts his energy into. And so that's very much so in alignment with his defined will center. He also seems like he needs to be in control of things. He's also very confident. He can come across very selfish and very forceful, also very courageous. So like all of these qualities, even if you don't know anything about human design and you're just being introduced to it now, you can't really deny that's there, that there's some truth to it. So just take a look at your chart and see what you have defined and what you don't have defined. And so not having definition or not being born with a defined center doesn't necessarily mean that like you just don't have any willpower, you can never get anything done, or like you're just doomed. Like that's not what human design is. It's kind of getting you to see the polarity of things. It's getting you to understand what energy you were born with so that you can learn how to work with it and maneuver it. And so if you don't have a defined will center, that just means that your willpower isn't as consistent as someone who has a defined will center. So no, you're not doomed. No, it's not like you can't have any willpower. It just varies. It's unreliable. It's not consistent. It's vulnerable to the energies that you are around within your environment. So I said earlier, if you don't have a defined will center, that it's probably best for you to not make promises because you don't have that energy consistently there for you to rely on your willpower all the time. So if you make a promise to someone in that moment, sure, you might have that energy. And so like your true intentions were to keep that promise. But a week later, when the promise needs to be fulfilled, you might not have the energy to do that. And so that promise might not be kept. And that could potentially hurt your relationships. It also can hurt your own like confidence within yourself. And